Thank you. Good morning and welcome. My name is Pat Olson and I am Megan's husband. I am so pleased to be here today for the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's in Moline. It's an honor to be a part of the world's largest event to fight this devastating disease. Currently in the United States, more than 6 million people, including 66,000 over the river in Iowa and 230,000 right here in Illinois, are living with Alzheimer's, and over 11 million individuals are serving as their unpaid caregivers. As the prevalence of this disease continues to grow, the cost of care is escalating into the hundreds of billions. Alzheimer's is destroying our families, our finances, and our future, and it's time to end it now. The money we raise helps with the Alzheimer's Association continue to provide critical care and support services like the free 24/7 helpline, online and in-person education programs, and the resource-rich website alz.org. Your efforts also help the association continue its work as the leading voice for Alzheimer's, rallying a nationwide network of advocates to speak up for the needs and rights of those facing the disease. Ultimately, the end of Alzheimer's will come through research. The money you raise helps the association fund some of the most promising studies in the field. Currently, the association is investing over $310 million to more than 950 projects in 48 countries. And we're seeing the results of your efforts. The results of your online fundraising, your lemonade stands, your self-donations, and we want to take a moment to celebrate what we're achieving together. The other week, top-line results were shared from a phase 3 trial of a new treatment, lecanemab. The data showed a 27% reduction in cognitive decline in people living with early onset Alzheimer's disease. This is amazing progress that could mean so much more to those facing Alzheimer's. Let's give it a round of applause for that. So please join us in celebrating this historic moment. Keep sharing the story on social media, rally our friends, our neighbors around our cause and our vision of a world without Alzheimer's and all dementia. To learn more about what you can do, pick up a handout with instructions at the Alzheimer's Association advocacy table inside, or text AIM WALK to 52886. That's AIM WALK to 52886. This drug still needs to be approved by the FDA. We know Alzheimer's isn't stopping, and neither are we. We need to continue building momentum around this treatment and other promising treatments in the pipeline. And one day, we will end this disease, and we're going to do it together. So who's with me in this fight? So far, we've raised over $100,000 today, and we're getting closer to our goal of raising $125,000. And with your help, we can do it. The energy today is awesome. Let's show the world around our passion and our purple on social media. Okay, I'm going to take a group selfie. All right. Somebody. All right, hold on. I gotta give directions for what a selfie is. Okay, we're gonna take a group selfie, and then we're gonna post it somewhere. Ready? Before we get to our sponsors, we're supposed to do the national anthem. We usually do it at the beginning. All right, now that we threw them for a curveball. Okay, we're fortunate to have our national presenting sponsors, Edward Jones and CVS Health, alongside us in this fight. Here in the Quad Cities, Edward Jones Associates, clients, and their families are participating. The firm's combined corporate contributions and local team fundraising on track to surpass $5 million this year. That speaks to their commitment to the association's mission. I'd like to now invite Ben Kuhn, financial advisor in Bettendorf, to the stage to say a few words. Ben?
Thank you. So for over 100 years, Edward Jones has been in the business of building relationships and helping clients financially achieve what is most important to them. Alzheimer's has fought to destroy them both.
Hello,
That's why.
we're all in front of the steps.
That's why we've continued to support, as a national presenting sponsor, why many of our associates choose to form teams at walks across the country through the National Team Program. Since 2016, Edward Jones and its associates have raised more than $30 million.
And come out the stairs. Come out the door.
Turn up the volume. Okay. Oh, get closer. Okay, I'll do that. Okay. Sorry about that. So that's why, so going forward, we will continue to accelerate the fight by helping Alzheimer's Association fund research, raise awareness, and increase vital care, as well as support services until the day we end Alzheimer's. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Ben, and to Edward Jones for being a leader in this fight, and thank you to all of your hard work. CVS is the largest healthcare innovation company in the United States. With nearly 10,000 touch points in local communities that reach 1/3 of Americans each year, they are dedicated to improving the health of our customers, clients, and colleagues. CVS Health joined the fight against Alzheimer's in 2019, making a 3-year, $10 million minimum commitment to the Alzheimer's Association, including customer fundraising, caregiver support, and national presenting sponsorship of the Walk to End Alzheimer's. They know how devastating this disease is to the millions who face it every day, which is why they're so proud to support families across the country through their involvement with the association. In addition to our national sponsors, we're also fortunate to have many local sponsors with us today. We'll hear remarks from 2 of these sponsors now. I'd like to welcome on stage one of our platinum sponsors, Schomer Dental.
Schomer Dental is proud to be this year's platinum sponsor. I walk to honor my Grandpa Fred, who passed away in March 2021 after a battle with Alzheimer's. Our family and our small business support this organization to honor his memory and to help find a cure to end Alzheimer's.
Thank you, Cassie. I'd now like to welcome Pam Jones, one of our other platinum sponsors from ProMedica.
Thanks for joining us today. Here at ProMedica, we are supporting Alzheimer's and patients' families with their journey in Alzheimer's. With our full continuum of care, skilled care, long care, and memory care, and hospice as well, we can enrich the lives of our patients and our community. At ProMedica, your health is our mission. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Pam. We all have a reason why we're here today, and I truly believe that together we can end Alzheimer's. And I can tell by looking out at the sea of purple in the audience that I'm not alone. Who's ready to lead the charge to end Alzheimer's? Let's let all of Moline, and I live in Davenport, so let's let them know it too, that we're not here to stop this devastating disease. Who's with me to lead the end fight to Alzheimer's? An event like this doesn't come together on its own. I'd like to welcome to the stage Rhonda Ellsbury from United Healthcare, one of our awesome Quad Cities Walk Planning Committee members and sponsor at today's event. In this role, Rhonda has been a dedicated and true leader in coordinating today's walk. Please join me in welcoming her.
Good morning, everybody. So like many of you, I've been touched by Alzheimer's with my mother. She was diagnosed with dementia this year, so we'll be going on this journey together. I'm honored to work closely with all of my fellow committee walk members and all of you as we fight this disease. By coming together like we have today and across the country, we can, and I truly believe, will end this disease. I'd like to take a few minutes to thank some of our main sponsors today. We've already mentioned Edward Jones and CVS Health, our national presenting sponsors. Another thanks to our top Quad Cities and statewide sponsors, such as LCS, Tyson's Farm, Home and Auto, Schomer Dental, ProMedica Moline and ProMedica Hospice, United Healthcare, Dial Senior Living, The Fountains, Overlook Village and Silvercrest Garner, Vibrant Arena here at the Mark, and WHBF. Let's give them a round of applause. And thank you to the volunteers who have worked so hard over the past few months, our devoted Walk Committee members. This group of dedicated, passionate volunteers of our community has worked tirelessly to put on this inspiring day together. We're all wearing these teal t-shirts today and committee member pins, so please be sure to thank us and thank our committee here for this wonderful event. I especially want to call out Sarah Connors, Jen George, Ann Lang, Katie Pearson, Kylie Bowles, and Liz Kurgan. Give them a round of applause. Great. If you're interested in getting more involved with the cause, please consider joining us. You could join the walk committee with us as well. So if you're interested in that, find one of us that has these teal shirts on, or visit our volunteer table inside and we can help you get signed up and tell you more. So finally, a huge thank you and congratulations to our top walk teams to date. If you're here in the crowd, give a small cheer as I say your name. Senior Star Elmore Place, ProMedica, Overlook Village, and for Grandma's sake. Keep up the great work, everybody. Donations this year are still coming in. We can collect all the way to the end of the year. So let's keep leading the charge.
Thank you, Rhonda, and thanks again to everybody who put on this event. On behalf of the millions of Americans affected by this disease, we deeply appreciate your time and help in raising essential awareness for funds for Alzheimer's care, support, and research. And after we wrap up this great day, we hope that you'll continue to spread the word about this cause and ask your friends, family, and coworkers to donate and join us next year. Alzheimer's is not going to back down, and neither should we. Speaking of refusing to back down, I'd like to introduce you an individual who is here today to speak about her experience with the disease. Please welcome Anne-Marie Gephardt.
My name is Anne-Marie Gephardt, and I am here to share my mom and my family's journey with Alzheimer's. But before I talk about that, I wanted to think a little bit about some of the statistic that Megan's husband talked about. Sorry, Megan's husband, I don't know your first name. Sorry. Anyway, so I just want to think about some of those statistics. So in Iowa, 60,000 people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And in addition, 70,000 people in Iowa are caregivers. So if you just think about those numbers combined, that would be a city larger than most of the cities in the Quad Cities. And then if you think on the national level, 6 million people are afflicted with Alzheimer's, and as many as 11 million people are caregivers. That is a big city in the United States. It's larger than the entire population of Iowa, which is around 3 million. So we all know that this disease has second and third and fourth effects on all of us. I would say that every single one of you here today is also touched directly with Alzheimer's. You're either a direct caregiver, a family member, or a friend or a relative that knows somebody with Alzheimer's, or you're affected with Alzheimer's yourself because you've been diagnosed. And so each and every one of you today could get up here and tell your story, so I appreciate that you listened to mine. So my mom's name was Marilyn Diane Soderberg Deegan, and she was born in beautiful Lakewood, Colorado, which is right next to Denver. She ended up being a school teacher and was in Fort Collins, Colorado when she met my father, who was going to veterinary school. She and my father settled down, got married, had some kids, and my mom took care of the family. She worked and she supported everyone. And then my dad got a job in Waukon, Iowa, and then eventually in Maquoketa, Iowa. And I think my mom was rather surprised, but not unhappily so, to end up in eastern Iowa, because she thought, you guys, it was quite the exotic place to live. And they threw their lives into small town Maquoketa and thoroughly enjoyed themselves. But the farm crisis of the 80s hit, and so my dad took a job in New Zealand, because I guess that's what you do. So once again, my mom was surprised where life took her. And then after about 4 years, my dad decided he wanted to be a farmer, and we ended up back in eastern Iowa. So by this time, my mom was very bemused where life had led her, but she wasn't unhappily so. And my parents threw themselves into the life of small town. They were very active members of their town. My mom was a avid reader. She was a volunteer, and their life was pretty good for a while. But like in everybody's life, sadness occurs, and my dad was diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia, which is a dementia, and she was his caregiver for a good 10 years. And then she was my daughter Lorelei's caregiver for a little bit because she was a kidney transplant. But at some point, she didn't have to be a caregiver, and she ended up having a great life in Maquoketa, living in a condo there. And again, she threw herself into the life there. She was a volunteer. She was a lifelong member of her church. She was a choir member, and she liked to travel. And things were going along pretty well for us when in October of 2019, my sister and I started to get some phone calls. And at first we wanted to ignore it because they were just weird stories about some of Mom's behavior. But it eventually came to a head where we realized that she would go into her condo in weather like this, so you know how cold it was last night, and she would leave the windows and the doors in her condo open. And then she would sit there with her coat on, and I said, "Mom, why are you doing that?" And the only answer she could say is, "Well, I don't know how to get out." And I got to tell you, the hairs on the back of my neck went off when I heard that. I knew it was time to do something. And the other sign is she was a great cookie maker, and she made a batch of cookies, and they were terrible. So that was the final straw. And she had to go into assisted living, but then quickly was moved into memory care, which was a great place for her. It kept her involved. So she got to do fun things like bingo, and she got to do music therapy, and things were pretty good until she passed in April of 2021. Unfortunately, I think you guys remember there was a little thing going on called COVID. So we didn't get to probably see her as much as we like to. We did a lot of outdoor visits and things behind plexiglass. But nevertheless, we got to be there through the whole journey. So what do we do with this story, right? I mean, here's the thing about Alzheimer's and other diseases. There is no cure. And so I think it's hard as a caregiver to try to wrap your head around it and be okay with all of it, right? And I think as human beings, we yearn for hope. But when you're in the thick and the chaos of being a caregiver and in Alzheimer's, it's hard to see the good moments. And I really wish that I had worked harder at that during her journey. And the thing about Alzheimer's is, when you look for hope, it's not hope with a capital H, because if we had hope with a capital H, you know that you could just take your loved one into the doctor's office and they get a shot and their brains would be all cleared up, right? And we don't have that. But we can look for hope with the lower H. And so for me, I wish that I had looked for that more, and I hope that for you. For example, my mom, when she was in the unit, she had a fashion sense that could be rivaling a first grader. I remember one day when I went to see her after she went to church, she was wearing red long johns, a sparkly sweater, and some strange jewelry I'd never seen before, probably from somebody else's room. And I remember at the time being kind of annoyed. But looking back on it, I wish that I had really embraced it and enjoyed it. And some of the hairstyles she had were amazing. Now, they had a hairdresser in her facility, so she was getting it done regularly. But I would call it punk rock grandma bedhead look or something. And again, I was annoyed by it. And looking back, it was hilarious and it was fun. And there's going to be a lot of moments in this journey that are fun and that you can look to and remember as happy times. One of the things, too, that I thought was so remarkable in my mom's journey is her connection with music. And even at the end, when she was nonverbal, we could take out our cell phones and we could play a hymn, and she could sing every word to those hymns, even though she hadn't said a word in 2 days. And even at the very end of her life, when we played that music, she would hum along. So I would challenge all of you that are in various stages of this horrible disease, and as you're walking today, I would challenge you to look for those moments of hope with the lowercase h and try to remember, because it's all about your self-care, right? It's all about hope. And enjoy yourself today. It's a beautiful day, the weather is good, and someday there will be a cure.
Thank you for sharing your story, Anne-Marie. There's not a thing I'm going to say up here that's on this script that's going to be as powerful as that, or as powerful as what's going to happen next. If you have not been here, the next portion is my favorite portion of this whole event. These flowers have a lot of fight left in them. You're holding an orange flower like Rachel. You're here to support the cause and the association's vision of a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia. This is Rachel's third walk to End Alzheimer's. She is the niece of the Walk to End Alzheimer's co-chair and is a proud walker. If you're holding an orange flower, please join Rachel in raising it up and keeping it held high. If you have a purple flower, like Sarah, you're participating in the walk today because you've lost someone to Alzheimer's or other dementia. Sarah lost both of her grandparents to this disease. Everyone with a purple flower, please join Sarah in raising it and keeping it held high. If you're holding a yellow flower, like Rhonda, you're here today because you're supporting or caring for someone living with the disease. Rhonda's mom was recently diagnosed with dementia. If you have a yellow flower, please join Rhonda in raising it up high. And if you have a blue flower, like Katie, you're here today because you're living with Alzheimer's disease or another form of dementia. Katie represents her friend, Stephen, who is currently going through his Alzheimer's journey. If you have a blue flower, please join Katie in raising it and keeping it held high. Take a look at the symbolic flowers that surround you. Like flowers, we don't stop when something's in our way. We keep on pushing for a breakthrough in the fight against Alzheimer's and other dementia. I am confident that one day we will add a flower to this garden. A white flower. A white flower represents the first survivor of Alzheimer's. Wouldn't that be an incredible addition to our garden? Let's give that a round of applause. Hold it high. Hold it way up. Way up. There you go. Until that beautiful day happens, we must not back down. We must not continue to lose way, because together we can end Alzheimer's. I'm going to say that again. Together we can end Alzheimer's. All right, let's lead the way to end the Alzheimer's disease. Let's count down from 10, and then we're going to walk. We're going to start this way. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The route is open.